look, I'm doing a top 5 Wednesday. I haven't done one of these in a while. Hi everybody, it's Lydia here. I haven't done one of these for a while because I just forgot. Honestly, I meant to do them. I meant to do the flippin' map one because but I didn't, and that sucks. So yeah, I forgot about it. Oops. Today, I've actually forgotten what it is. So today's top 5 is tropes you hate. I don't know whether these are going to be in any particular order because I can't decide which of them I hate most. Actually no, my number 1 is my brain's gone. Oh, let's start again. My number 1 is one that I absolutely hate, and it's definitely my number 1 because it's always at the top of it's always the thing I'm moaning about. If you watch my channel enough, you probably know. The rest of them are kind of in a random order because I just couldn't decide what order they should go in. Also, I'm just going to say at the beginning, I don't know what names to give these tropes, so they don't have any names. There we go. Let's just get on with it, shall we? So at number 5, I've gone for the trope where the lead heroine ends up falling for the dark, handsome stranger who ends up turning out to be a dick, but she still thinks she can fix him. Even though he's a dick, she's determined he's a nice guy just because she fancies him. One example that comes to mind when I think about this is the Grisha trilogy. My biggest issue with that series was the whole flipping Alina Darkling thing. It got so frustrating. He's horrible. He's a horrible person thing. But she just is constantly oh no, he's misunderstood, or oh no, I can heal him, or oh, I'm sure he's really a nice guy in the end and he's just fallen into bad ways. And it's have you not seen what he's done? He's killed gazillions of people. Wake up, woman. That trope drove me round the bend, and yeah, stop doing that. It's so frustrating. Especially when they're flipping horrible people who are manipulative and dominating, and just go away. Go away. Ugh. At number 4, sort of, but not really because numbers, I've gone for boyfriend BFFs. And I don't mean that in a sort of oh, your boyfriend can't be your BFF thing. I mean that in the point of view that when you've got a story where you've got a guy and a girl, and it's normally the book is led by the girl, where you've got the guy who she's grown up with, and they started off and they've known each other since they were children, and she never used to fancy him, and then one day something happens and it's who is this person? I suddenly fancy him. Oh my god, we can no longer be best friends, we have to fall in love. Why? Why can't guys and girls be friends? While we're on the subject of this whole thing, and I mentioned it before, why can't we just have same gender BFFs as well? There aren't enough female-led YA books where the lead heroine has a friend who is also a female. It's just... At number 3, I've sort of gone for one which is sort of in there, and it's going to sound really weird because I read a lot of them, but there we go. Strong female characters. I always use that term when I'm describing characters that I love, just because I'm lazy, and I really need to stop myself from using that term because I've started to hate it. Here's why. I'm all for having these strong, physically strong characters, female characters. I love that. I love that we're getting those. It's awesome. It's about bloody time. But I feel a lot of the time they just end up, that's all they are. That's all they're meant to be. And whereas you'll have male characters that are so much more than strong. They can be strong and they can also be sensitive and charismatic and have a sense of humour. But they have more to their character than just one characteristic. And I feel sometimes with strong female characters we tend to forget that. We tend to have they're strong. That's their leading characteristic, and the rest of them don't matter. So yeah. I don't know whether that's a problem with the trope, a problem with the name, I don't know what it is, but yeah, there's something about that whole thing which just annoys me, and I'm just going to move on because... My number 2 is, again, I don't know what to call it. I wrote on my notes, I wrote rags to riches, but it's not really rags to riches. Well, it is. Yeah. Basically, when the book starts, you have this character who is often living in poverty, they have no money, they're probably orphaned in some way, and then at some point they discover some power which makes them special, and they end up living in a palace, or they end up, becoming important in society some way or another. There are some great books that have that plot line, but I think there are too many of them, and it's just getting a bit dull, so yeah. My number 1, can you guess what it is already? Because I talk about it all the time anyway. Frickin' love triangles. I hate them with a vengeance. Okay, actually no. I'm going to take this time to explain why I don't like love triangles. It's not actually, that's wrong. I don't dislike love triangles. What I dislike about love triangles is that you often have, before the love triangle has become a love triangle, you have 3 separate, very dynamic, very interesting characters. They all have their own personalities. They're all awesome in their own ways. It's great. And then the love triangle comes together and it's just like, and their personalities just disappear. They suddenly just become consumed by each other somehow, and everything becomes about the freaking love triangle. The 2 who are kind of facing off against each other for the one character in a way end up being jealous of each other, despite they might be really nice people at the beginning, and then suddenly they're like jealous and envy and However, this is the thing that bothers me the most. When you have the love triangle where you have 2 guys and a girl and they both want the girl, I kind of feel like in that situation very often the guys sort of forget that actually, you know what, she has a choice to make. They're always like, I'm the best, no, I'm the best, and they're constantly competing against each other, and they sort of forget that actually it's kind of her decision. She kind of has a choice in this matter as well. Do not like that thing at all. Let's stop with love triangles, please. I'm going to stop because I've got mad at things that are really not important in the world. Let me know in the comments below what your top 5 is, and link me to your videos and blogs, etc., because I want to hear about this, because I feel like this could be a week where everyone's going to have different things. I just find it interesting to hear what annoys people. It's fascinating in a weird way. That is it for my top 5 today. It was weird and strange and I'm in a very weird mood, but there we go. I will see you again soon. Bye!